Hi there, Ellie here from Thankful Flow Yoga. I'm here with a non-weight bearing video for you today. So we are not going to be weight bearing through our arms at all today in this practice. I know for some of us, if you're doing a lot of yoga regularly, it's sometimes nice to have a break from the weight bearing side of it, or perhaps in other exercise that you are doing, or any other reason, this flow is going to be a lovely kind of non-weight bearing practice for you. So if you would like to grab any blocks or props that you need, please meet me at the top of your mat in a standing position to start the practice today. So feet roughly hip width apart. I'll turn to face you so that you can see me, but you're welcome to face the top of your mat or whatever works best for you. Grounding through your feet, pressing through the mounds of your big toes. You can begin to either close your eyes or take a steady gaze somewhere out in front of you. And try and find that neutral spine position. Relaxing through your shoulders. Relaxing through your face, through your jaw. Connecting to your breath. Allowing your breath to guide you throughout your practice today. Listen. Listen to what it might communicate to you. Notice any sensations in your fingertips, in your feet, anywhere in your body. Perhaps you naturally have a little rock from side to side when you're standing in stillness. Being in this standing position or Tadasana, mountain pose, sometimes staying in this position for a while can be quite challenging. And when you're ready, if you had your eyes closed, you can begin to open them, coming back into the physical body now. And on your next inhale, sweep your arms up above your head. And interlace your fingers and take a stretch over to one side. So take a stretch over to the right side or the left, it doesn't matter what you do first. And this doesn't have to be a really big movement. Your stretch today might just be a smaller range of movement, but that's where you're really feeling the stretch in your body. And come over to the other side. Try and relax through the shoulders as you do this. Remembering your connection to your breath, your root and your grounding and your stability through your feet. And come through neutral. Now place the right hand to your right thigh. Bring that left arm up into the sky and just start to come back into the stretch here, but this time gently sliding the right hand down your leg. Again, doesn't need to be any kind of big movement here. And bring the left arm down, sweep the right arm up. Inhale, make space in the spine, then slide the left hand down your leg, coming into the stretch again. And meet back in a neutral standing position. Interlace your hands behind your back this time and draw your shoulder blades together Opening through the heart, opening through the chest. If you struggle with interlacing your hands here, you can always use a strap or a dressing gown tie to make more space between the hands, and you could be holding that. And release. Interlace your fingers, and with the palms facing you, push your hands out in front of you and allow your spine to round here. Almost like a standing cat and cow motion. You can let your head drop, feeling a stretch through your spine. Notice if your breath changes. And release. Inhale, roll your shoulders. Take a couple of shoulder rolls, going with your breath. And then start to slowly sliding your hands down, come into a forward fold. You can take the hands on the elbows if that feels good for you, and allow yourself to just hang down in this forward fold. If it feels better to soften your knees, then please do soften your knees here. Take whatever you need. And when you're in your forward fold, see how it feels to bring the right elbow to the right knee, just bending through that right leg, and maybe finding some length through the left leg. Feeling a really deep stretch through the glutes, through the IT band. And on the other side, so lengthening a little bit through the right leg and softening the left knee, bringing the elbow to the left knee. So you can work through a few of these, going with your breath. And then you can just hang in your forward fold, bringing the weight through the big toe, through the tops of the feet. Feeling the stretch through your body. And then softening through the knees as much as you need to. Again, roll yourself back up to standing. Grounding through the left foot. Start to bring your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around it. Hug it in. Also take a moment here to grab any blocks that you might need. Just put them to hand, and then from your hugging knee position, see how it feels to release that right leg, sending it slowly with control back behind you. You can take a little micro bend in your left knee here if that feels right for you. Listen to your body, do what's right for your body. To see how it feels to bring that right leg back into a warrior three. No worries if you're falling out or that transition's not been smooth for you. Take any blocks or props that you need in your warrior three. Hips facing the earth, keeping the hips nice and square. Really powering through the left standing leg. And then you can start to release from your warrior three and place the right foot behind you. Now the toes of the right foot are pointing roughly towards the right top corner of the mat. The front foot is straight and your hips are facing forward. So hips are square still, and really making sure to keep the hips square. Keep that left hip nicely tucked in, pivoting from the waist, come into a forward fold. Coming about halfway. Again, you can take blocks here and place your hands on them if that feels good for you. Remember to engage the back right leg. Sometimes the quads on the back leg have a little rest. Just bring some attention to activate them. Find a lengthened spine position here. Remembering to breathe, feet pressing down and away from each other. If you feel like you're wobbling around, come back to the root of the pose. Ground your feet into the mat. Press them down and away. And inhale, start coming up and out of the fold. Soften through the left knee and step the right foot back. So widen your stance. Right foot is in line with the side of the mat. If this is a little bit too strong on your hips, then you can always adjust this right foot and have the toes turned in slightly if that works better for you, or you can bring your stance in. Warrior two. Bring your hands out to the side, roughly shoulder height. Gaze comes forwards. Relax the shoulders. Allow your shoulder blades to roll down your back. Check in, make sure you can see your big toe at the front, that your knee is in line with the ankle. And on your next inhale, flip this left palm up to the sky. Lift up and out of the waist, reverse warrior. So right hand is gently resting on the right side, but not putting any weight into it, or very little. And the left arm is coming towards your left ear. Staying strong through the legs. Remember to breathe, come back to the breath. And come out of your reverse warrior, meeting back in warrior two. And then pivot this left foot forwards. So both feet, the toes are facing forwards now. Hands on the hips again. Inhale, bring the ribs away from the hips, find length. Pivoting from the waist, come into your Prasarita Padottanasana. Folding forwards. Balance halfway here. Again, if it feels good to take some blocks here in front of you, absolutely do that. See how it feels to bring the weight through the front of the feet, the tops of the feet. Connecting back to the breath. And inhale, come back up. And then pivot your feet now so that your toes are pointing outwards. They don't have to be completely out to the side. Again, find a place for you where you have some stability. And soften the knees coming into goddess. And lightly place your hands on your thighs or your knee, your thighs. Roughly place your hands on your thighs. Right shoulder down and feel into the stretch in your goddess. And go to the other side. Go one more time in each side. Staying strong through the legs. If you don't want to put any kind of weight on the arms whatsoever, you can bring them into a cactus instead. But this is a light stretch in your goddess. As always, listen to your body. And release from your goddess now. Come to the top of your mat. And then this time, grounding through the right leg, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Hug that knee in, grounding through the right leg really strong. And then see how it feels to guide the left leg back, meeting in warrior three. Hips are squared. Take any blocks or support that you need. Feeling into any wobbles or shakes. And then softening through the right knee slightly, step the left leg back behind you. So front foot is facing forward and back foot, the toes are pointing out slightly. Hips are square to the front wall. Really think about bringing this right hip in, keeping those hips square as you come forwards into a fold. Coming about halfway, feeling into the stretch. Remember to breathe. And come back up from fold. Step this left foot out to meet in your warrior two now. Left foot in line with the side of the mat and right foot toes facing forwards, gaze comes forwards, breathe into your warrior two. Hands reaching away from each other, relax through the shoulders. And on your next inhale, flip the right palm to the sky, lift up and out of the waist, reverse warrior. Left hand lightly touching the left thigh. Remembering to breathe here. Noticing if your breath feels restricted. Maybe slightly modifying or amending the range of movement if you need to. And come out back through warrior two. Pivot the right foot so that it faces forwards. So both feet are in a wide leg stance, toes are facing forwards, hands to the hips. Inhale, bring the ribs away from the hips, pivoting from the waist, come forwards. Palattanasana. Breathe. Bring the weight through the tops of the feet. Inhale, start to come back up. Pivot the feet to point the toes out. Amend your stance however you need to. Soften through the knees, goddess. So if you really are giving your arms and shoulders a nice break today, just bring them to cactus, or you could keep them at heart center in your goddess. If you'd like to come into the stretch, bring your hands lightly on the thighs and dip one shoulder at a time, feeling the twist through your body. Working through a couple of these. Staying strong through the legs. And release from your goddess now. Bring the feet in slightly. So the legs are now slightly wider than hip width apart. Point the toes out at an angle. Start to lower down into your Malasana squat. Take a block under the hips here. You could take a fully seated Malasana with your hips on the ground. Go with whatever option works for you today. And when you found your Malasana, find some length through the spine, some openness through the chest. Crown of the head's coming towards the ceiling. Find a drishti or a gazing point if that feels good for you. And open out into a little stretch here. Bring the right arm to the mat. Left arm comes up towards the sky. Gaze follows. Keeping strong through your Mula Bandha, your root lock, the inner and outer pelvic muscles, the lower abdominals, strong through the root. Come over to the other side, place the left hand down, sweep the right arm up, gaze follows. Remembering to breathe and reconnect. And then when you're ready, come out of Malasana, place your hips on the mat, and bring your legs out to the side, come into a wide leg forward bend. Now, it really doesn't matter how wide your legs are coming here. Flex through the feet and make sure your thighs are facing the ceiling. And then find some length through the spine, leading with the chest. Start to then come forward. So the movement is really coming from the hips, keeping the spine lengthened. So walk the hands forwards, keeping the thighs facing the ceiling, and come to whichever place is right for you. Option, if you want a little bit more here, you can always bring your fingers to your big toes, your peace fingers to your big toes, and come down, forehead coming to the floor. Or you could be here in your forward bend. Go to whatever option is right for you and work with that. I'm going to take a few breaths here. Find the comfort within the discomfort. And you can start to come back up now. Draw the legs in together. Give them a little shake out, whatever you need. And then plant your soles of your feet on the mat. Bring your hands out in front of you. You know what's coming. And lower, engaging through the core. Lower your body slowly down to the mat. And release into Shavasana. Allow your legs to become heavy. Feet drop out to the side. Maybe the palms of your hands are facing the ceiling. Or maybe today you want to place your hands on your belly so that you can feel your belly rise and fall with the breath. Perhaps imagining that on every inhale, your breath is nourishing every cell in your body. Back to its natural place of harmony and well-being. Surrender to the stillness. And just observe any thoughts coming to your mind, any sensations throughout the body. In a place of awareness, there's nothing to do. As always, if you would like to stay in your Shavasana for longer, then please do. If you are ready to come out of your Shavasana, then pause and take a moment, rolling over to one side, keeping your eyes closed if that's comfortable, and then gently start to make your way up to a seated position, coming back into the physical body now. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Please do comment and let me know how you got on with this practice. I do run a monthly membership that includes recorded and live Zoom classes every Sunday. So please get in touch if you would like to be part of that and come and practice with me every week. Thank you, and I hope to see you again very soon.